YouTube! I am Penstar, and this is Planet Coaster, an educational series. Today we are going to cover the basics of coaster building. And, well, alright, maybe that's not a good description. Not so much basics. This isn't Coaster Building 101. I'm sure you've all built yourselves a functional coaster. This is more to do with refining your coaster, getting into some of the nuances of coaster construction, and getting those excitement ratings nice and high. So let us begin here. We are here on the Alpine map. It's my favorite visually here. And we are in sandbox mode, so we don't need to worry about money or what have you. That being said, we do need to worry about money. In fact, I am setting myself a budget for this particular coaster that we're going to build today of 10,000 or less. I can show you that on a reasonably costed budget, you can make yourself a pretty darn healthy coaster. You don't need to go insane with them, and while the temptation to fill the map with an entire coaster is there, you don't need to. You don't need to. You can. That's what's fun about this game, but you don't need to. So let's get started. Now, as far as what flavor of coaster we're going to pick here, I'm going to go with the American Aero, and there's a very specific reason why. Well, one, I like the coaster type. It's kind of a vanilla steel. Like, you can do some fancy stuff with it, but not too many fancy things with it, but that's okay by me. Secondly, for those of you who play challenge mode, which is kind of my jam here, it is the coaster type that you start off with. So making coasters with the American Aero type will allow you to utilize them in a later mode, which we probably will do in a later episode. Right then, so let us get building here. So first things first, well, I mean, the location of your, in sandbox mode, the location of your station doesn't matter. I will cover proper station location placement in a real park later on in another episode. So let's just throw this thing down here. Got plenty of room around us. Now, a couple of tips here when it comes to actually building the station itself. So it starts you out with this little block of a station here, and it suggests that you go right into a chain lift. There's a little bit of optimization we can do here. First off, we're going to want to go back to the station here. Now notice these different station types. You've got exit and entry and exit on the left, entry and exit on the right, or enter left, exit right, or entry right, left, exit left. These two right here are superior. You get better people throughput. As people leave faster and enter faster, and you can center these two faster. So it is just an overall better to use these two when possible. I'm gonna go with this section here because I can. The other thing I'd like to do is, while this is the default length of a station, hit this button twice. And there's a reason why. Because when we go back here and go back to our chain lift here, look at what is left behind. A car that is 8 cars long. The default, I think, only gives you 6. And actually, if you only add one section of station, it doesn't add any more cars. But when you add a second section of station, it gives you 2 more cars. And at this capacity, this has the capacity to handle plenty of crowds. So you don't need to fart around with block sections in order to cheese out some extra trains. At least not for a coaster of the length that we are planning on building for it. So that being said, let us build our lift hill. Now, for optimal lift hill creation, what I like to do is I like to shorten it to as short as possible, and then steepen it to as steep as it'll go. The other optimization, click this little utility settings button right here. Yeah, the default chain speed is 4 miles per hour. No. You want to crank that up all the way to 14. That is the highest it will go. If it went higher, I would make it higher. It doesn't, so I don't, but still. You want that as fast as possible. And I'll explain why later on. Now, if we pop up here to our build. Now, the other thing we want to make sure we have is height markers turned on terrain relative. Because we want to grow to a specific height. The height that I like to grow our little 10K coaster to is probably, grow until you reach 31 and then start leveling it off. And yeah, you're gonna have to take a couple of tugs until you hear it make that clank sound. That means you've lowered it as far as possible, and when you build one more, it will know to switch back to a standard track because your lift hill has started to decline. Now at this point, there's a few things you could do. You could just go right into a drop. Me, I don't like my coasters to sprawl too much. This is just sort of my design philosophy here. So what I usually like to do is, at this point in time, the cars are going to be very slow. They're going to be, 14 miles an hour. So you can do whatever the heck you want in terms of turn sharpness and not worrying about G-forces, because people are going slow, they're not going to get thrown around. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop this thing, we're going to drop it as far down as we can get. I am a big fan of the straight down drop. And at the same time, we're going to twist this bad boy. Now, if you were to take a turn like that at any kind of speed, you would get fear and nausea factors through the wazoo. You'd be snapping people's necks off. But they're just trundling along at the chain lift speed here. So this little whoop is actually very exciting, but not very scary because the G-forces are not that extreme. Alright, now, we do want to straighten this beast out. So we are going to have ourselves a straight down drop here. We want, this is going to be very, very exciting. And I do like ourselves a straight drop, but we will be leveling this off soon enough. In fact, if we lengthen this to the max, and then bend it up like that, now we have ourselves a nice way to get out of that drop. And more importantly, this little tool right here, this length tool, this is very important right here. I mean, yes, you can use it to add longer sections of track, so you don't have to click quite as much, but that's not really the strength of it. The way it is here is when you're painting with longer pieces, you're painting in broader brush strokes. And therefore, whatever transition you're doing, especially if you're doing turns, or in this case, a flattening out, whenever you're changing major amounts of direction, you're going to want to paint with the largest brush you can, because it will make this transition a lot more gentle. If we were to do something like, say, we were to shorten this beast right here, and it was like, all right, we're flat now. No, you'd be making sausage patties out of your passengers. You would be getting fear spikes over 10. You'd have not so happy campers. So we want to lengthen that out to make it nice and gentle. Because here's the thing, yes, it's gentle, but gentle is not necessarily boring. Because they are going at such a high speed and they are changing direction, this is going to still be an exciting part of the ride. In fact, the excitement would be tamped down if the G-forces get too high, because pain distracts people from excitement. So there's our first lift here. In fact, if we want to, let's start our little test here. We'll set the simulation to faster here. So we'll let this thing go. Oop, and I missed the, let's get that heat map on there. All right, so fear, not so bad. See, fear goes down to 5, but that's not a bad level of fear, especially during the main primary drop. Meanwhile, excitement is 10 all the way. So see, this, just because we're being gentle about this drop here does not make it boring. So we're good in that sense. All right, we'll stop this because having the cars constantly crashing is a little distracting. I mean, entertaining, yes, but distracting too. Right then, so let us do the same thing. We want to paint in broad strokes. We are going very fast right now. Very, very fast. So we do not want to change direction again abruptly. We want to paint in broad strokes like that. Now we need to be mindful of our height here, because we reached a height of 32 meters. We will never be able to have enough speed to crest another hill at 32 meters or higher. So we can't let this thing go too high. So in this case, we are going to shorten it just for some finer control. All right, so 17 meters. Let's shoot for something like, oh, I don't know, 25 meters. So we are going to flatten this thing out. Now, notice what I'm doing here. Now, normally I would say paint in broad strokes. Don't change direction too quickly when you're going fast. At this point of the ride, we are slowing down. And in order to keep things more exciting for your passengers, for your ride goers, you gotta make the turns a little bit sharper, a little bit more extreme. So in this case, having that short and sharp turn here is warranted. So we'll do that. Now that might still be a little bit sharp for our tastes here. Actually, we could do something else a little bit more interesting. Oh yeah, Control Z is your friend. If you want to go back a spot and do that, then yeah. So let's actually go up one more, but let's make a turn. Let's make this another one of these style turns. Again, we can get away with it because we're slowing down. All right, so we'll flatten you out, and we will flatten you out as much as possible. Now, what's our height marker here? 29. That's... Ooh. We're going to have to run the test here to see if we actually... Wait, that's 32 again. We're going to lose too much. We need to go down one. Yeah, we'll start at the 21 and do that little twist transition. Because again, a car would not make that. And also, you don't want to slow it down too much, because if you get going too slow to where even the sharpest turns are not pulling any G's, then your excitement drops, because now it gets boring. At least in the eyes of the simulation. So that brings us to, see, that crests us at a 28. That's a 32. So we will have enough juice to get up there. I will want to run our tests here to see what the G's are on that, but I don't think they'll be too bad. In fact, I think they'll be pretty darn exciting. All right, so let's drop this beast right the heck back down. Again, slow speed, we can get away with faster transitions. And what the hey, we'll take another dive like this, just like the front hill. Dive, 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 and then lengthen it up. Well, all right, maybe that's a little bit much there. Let's go back a few pieces. There we go. And I have a nice, long, smooth transition there. All right, let's run our tests here and take a look at the G-forces involved in this little thing here. It's good to test along the way. Now, it doesn't have to, excuse me, it does not have to be perfect, because a second phase of this is sort of tweaking. All right, yep. All right, so look at that, a 13 excitement. Yeah, I know. Fear spikes up into the 8s and nausea is up into the 6.44s. But when excitement is cresting at 13, it's kind of worth it for these things to spike. And this is not a sustained thing. Now, we're cresting this at 23 miles an hour. So, well, hang on, let me slow the simulation down just a little bit, just so I can take another look at this. Ooh, all right, that is That right there is a little bit too... Whoa, 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 whoa. No, I guess... Yeah, we need to transition this a little bit more cleanly. There we go. That's better. That's better. That way we start twisting them sooner, so it's not a big jarring twist over there. Okay, let's continue. We will refine this even more in the second phase of our coaster here. All right, so I think these little pillars are going to be kind of a theme here. I'm not saying that you need to make these little up and down pillars, but you know what? Darn it, that's going to be kind of the gimmick of this particular ride. It's these little pillars. So we are going to go fast on the down, smooth on the up, but we are going to have once we do the smooth transition. No, not backwards. Down there. Once you start getting backwards, you start getting into some really interesting G-forces. It's not to say that's not something you should do. All right, so we're going to start our twisting sooner. Yeah, you know, yeah, we're gonna start our twist like this. How high are we up here? 20 meters. And that was 28. So we can start leveling this off now. One more. Alright, then we level it off and straighten it out while we're at it. Oops. 24. There we go. So see, we're going down in increments of here. Let's make sure we are nice and slow. Excellent. And once again, tight transition. You know, we're taking this at slower speed because we've already bled off a lot of speed coming up this ramp. Oh, we're still rocking this angle here. Well, that's an interesting. It's a banked crest here. Interesting take. I'll leave it in there. Maybe that little anomaly will make it a little more exciting for everyone. Oh, interesting. It's got us facing the other way again. Let's do another. Let's do another at that speed here. One more. Oh, I think we're still very slowly twisting here, which is fine actually. As long as we're not twisting too badly for our final descent piece here. Alright, that's not quite as long, but now that we've bled off a little bit of speed, we can make this a little bit shorter and still get away with it. Alright, shall we make another pillar here? I think so. I'm liking this pillar design here, and I'm also liking this little drift here that we've got going on. This little sideways drift. Doesn't have to be a sharp turn here, but I'm going to leave that in there. I'm not even going to bank for it, because it's just a subtle drift to the side here. Alright, so that's as sharp up as we're going to go. We shorten our piece length down here. And let's make our let's do it one unit at a time, so it's not quite as sharp. All right, so we're 27 up here. We got 20 here. Let's straighten you out. Yeah, one more I think we can get away with. Let's see, what's that? No, that's 24. We need to do it one shorter. Oops. There we go. Yeah, you're gonna want to shorten it. shorten it. Yeah, because we got 23, 27. We're making good progress here in terms of keeping our hills successive. I do hope we are bleeding off enough speed just through friction that we're not coasting through these too quickly. I might once I get this hill built, I'm gonna run another test just to sort of do a litmus here before we get too deep into our build here, in case we need to adjust. But yeah, I'm really liking this pillar idea, and I this is just all improv here. I did not like build this specific design before knowing it would work or not. I just kind of went with it, and this is the best way to do it, sort of organic coaster design here. That, and I do have some theming ideas that we might be able to make use of with all these sort of pillars here. All right, so let's drop you down one. Lengthen you. Yeah. And yes, I know there you can go underground with your coasters. That's a little sharp. Let's back it up one. Because oftentimes, if you're dealing with high... Oops. No, actually, no, we could make use of this. Yeah, just have that little drift there. Lengthen you. Well, actually, yeah. Well, let's shorten you just a touch. There we go. Now, let's do something different. I mean, it's all well and good. We could just keep doing these big pillars here, but let's do something different. But let's involve these pillars that we have created for ourselves. So this is going to be another little bit of a trick, a little tip here. Now, the conventional wisdom that you get from building these things is that you want to bank the turns in the direction that you're going. So, like, for example, if we were going to make a big left turn here, we would want to bank it like that, right? Well, you know what, folks? People like their negative G's a lot in this game. They really, really like their negative G's. So we're going to buck conventional wisdom here. And we are going to bank it on we're going to have them take this turn, this curve here, on the backside. That's right. By banking it in the opposite direction, people basically do the turn on the upside down of it. Well, almost upside down. Yeah, we're going to keep going here. Now, this is another little tip here. Whenever you're doing something that you might be inclined to do completely on a flat surface, make some up and downs out of it. There's no reason not to. All right, we're going to shorten this so we can sharpen this curve a little bit here. Actually, if we're going to sharpen the curve, I'll lengthen it, but we can sharpen the curve. There we go. Now look at that. That's going to be some high speed but high banked turning right there. Now, let's do a little experiment. I haven't actually built one of these into my coasters yet, but let's see if we can make this work for us. You boys and girls, you know what a heartline twist is? That's where you go in the same direction, but no. We want you flat. We want you flat. Down you go. Well, flat-ish. Where you basically go upside down. And you can achieve that through, well, quote-unquote banking. This can get a little, there we go. So we are now upside down. We want you flat, although we'll send you down a little bit. And then each of these sections, I'm just slowly banking because we don't want them. We don't want to, like, do a sudden twist. Because keep in mind, this is still going at high speed. Now we do want to have a sort of actually, yeah, let me send you down a little bit because we want sort of an upside down head chopper effect here. Normally when you get head chopper effects, it's they're facing a right way up and something's passing over you. Well, we're passing over something, but we're upside down. So it still looks like it's about to cut our heads off. In this case, the initial drop. And that also will make this initial drop more exciting. So yeah, let's do that. And you guys are at full 180 here. And yeah, I think that's as low as we can go. Let me shorten this. And let us continue the Actually, we don't need to go that way. We can go back the way we came. As far as banking goes, like that. And now we'll start going into our turn here. Let's lengthen that because we don't want that to be too extreme. And again, we're still banking on the back side of the turn here. Now, people are probably going to get tired of being upside down at this point. So we got to get them right ways up again. And also, don't forget to vary that height. Again, we're banking on the backside of the... Whoa! Hi there, Auto Piece. No, we don't want to quite do that. We're probably... 68 degrees. Yeah, we're finally recovering back to Uprightsville. Now that might put a hurt on our nausea. Going upside down like that for that long, I might need to scrap that idea. But it has a lot of potential. Again, we're taking this time to I want you to pass just over this. And then, you know what, we can do some quote unquote proper banking here for these final turns here. Because we're getting to the point where, well, we've got ourselves a pretty darn good ride here. You know, we want to start making our way back to that station. But we want to make sure people have a good time. A lot of people feel rushed at these last bits here. You know, the temptation is very strong just to hit autocomplete and say, all right, we did all the fun parts. Now we just need to connect part A to part B. But you have to bear in mind that the ride is an amalgamation of all of its parts. So if there's a boring section, that's going to hurt the whole ride's rating. So you want to, well, craft as much as possible before hitting autocomplete to avoid any kind of boring sections. So here, you know what I think I'm going to do just to avoid some boredom? Is we are going to do a backside corkscrew here. So we're taking the curve at its backside here. But at this point, we've probably bled out our speed a little bit more. So we can do things a little bit more aggressive like this. Twist you around. Whoops. Go down a little bit. Where are you doing? No, you gotta go down like that. There you go. What are you doing? Auto avoid can sometimes do some silly things. Although, yeah, I could see how it's trying to auto avoid that. All right, well, you know, let's actually do that. That's actually pretty darn good. I like it. I like it a lot. Got a little sort of snake coiling going here. And then we'll just keep this 45-degree banking. Get you down here. We'll start gentling this out. There we go. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Keeps things interesting. We'll get rid of the rest of that banking, so we're nice and on par. And then we'll just make a... yeah, up, down. That's pretty good right there, actually. Maybe pull this up just a little bit, just for a little last-minute excitement. Okay, so this is our 0.0 version of this thing. Let us test this beast. Because I've gone so long without a test, but I did that for more dramatic purposes. You know, this may do horribly. This may end with egg on my face. Oh, derp. There it goes. Did I pause it? I paused it. Any minute. There we go. Okay. Alright, so we want to keep an eye on this data here. We're going up, going down. Big excitement on that first drop. Yay! Going up over this hill. Ooh, that's an 11. Yeah. Okay, we're good. Up and over. Ooh, that's another 11. All right. Shake that one off. Oh, that's a sustained 11. Oh, they do not like that upside down time. All right, let's test this backside here. Oh, this is going to be one intense ride. One exciting ride, but holy crap. Yeah. Okay, so we've got some fixing to do. And I knew that Heartline, that upside down Heartline twist was going to be risky. So we are going to do away with that section here and reimagine it. Because okay. There are a few other problem areas we need to address, but we don't want to go completely upside down. So we're going to start coming back from the brink here. I still like the way that we're going here. We can shorten you just a bit. Ooh, not quite so high. Not quite in that direction. And let us recover your... We're still going to go for the head chopper, if only for our people on the initial drop hill. Oops. Well, we are going to actually want to keep this 45 degree for the turn here, but we'll make it a nice broad turn, a nice wide turn here, like that. And no, we don't want it to go up quite that high. No, we want it like that. And then let's auto-complete that. I like that. Alright, that should tone down that intensity level. Now, we did have a couple of spikes of 11s in here, and we're going to want to address those. But let's see how our fixing of this actually is a little boring. Let's drop you down. Alright, good excitement. There's our 11. And surprisingly didn't go to 11 again. Oh, there's our 11. Alright. Yeah, we're taking that a little fast. Alright. See how it's not a sustained 11, but the excitement is still keeping itself pretty up there, especially during this slower section here. By doing these little twists and turns and weaves, this section right here is just as exciting as this section. The slow areas can work in your favor. Alright, but we're still we're still rocking a way too high fear. And that's because of those 11s. I like mine a lot lower than that. So we are going to do some spot checking. So let's check our heat maps. And fear is our problem area. Yeah, look at that, and that, and that. This whole area is just nothing but problem area. And I think because because we spike at 11, it keeps them afraid for longer than they really should be. So if we address the 11, then we're going to be good. Now, one of the things we could do, and this is a little trick here, is we could just slow the whole ride down. And in order to do that, what we would do is just take lop one section off of the lift hill. So we make this the top of the hill. Like that. And then we do that. And that. And that. And then we auto-complete these two. And, well, this is going to be kind of chancy as whether or not it actually makes it or not. But we can, by putting less energy into the whole system, oftentimes if you're dealing with a way too intense system, slow it down a little bit. By giving it less total energy at the beginning, we still get that excitement, but we're not dealing with quite as many G-forces. There's less raw speed. So we get the excitement spikes, but the fear spikes aren't as bad. Let me go make it over. And we're still making the hills that we want to. Let's see how the rest of the ride fares with a little bit less speed. See if that keeps our fear levels down, but the excitement levels high enough to keep things, well, exciting. All right, so we got a little boring part right here, and a little boring part right here. We can address those. Yeah, see, we're going a little bit slow, but we're still pretty good on our excitement, and our fear levels are not so crazy. See? Now, the opposite technique can be used as well. If you need to spice it up a little bit, look at that! 5.77, 8.15, and a 2.20 nausea. Yes! Well, you know what? I think we can do a little better. We can do a little better. Where were those boring parts? Let's go back to our heat map. Let's go to excitement. Yep, boring. Look at that. That's all flat. Boring. Whenever you get these little boring parts, you can always spice it up with a little hill, either down or up. This part's a little boring too. Yeah. No, we don't want to go too high because this is already kind of slow. Can we go low? We can go low. Can we go lower? I think we can. No, hang on, let's turn off the heat map. Now, how does that look? Yeah, see, you get a little bit of airtime here. Can we go a little lower? That's even better. You get a little bit of airtime here, and then another down and an up. So that actually gives you a good burst of excitement. So we might be able to get our excitement rating even higher. So let's take another test here. See, this is why you got to be willing to make different changes to your thing here. But it's okay to make it at different points at it. Yeah, I know these are real iffy, but you really can't take these towers at speed. Or the G-forces will just murder you. All right, so we're going around here. Nice high, maintaining high excitement. Backside curve. All right, that spiced it up a little bit there. I mean, it's not super exciting. That spiced that up a little bit too. So our excitement rating should be even higher, and our fear/nausea rating shouldn't be. It might be like a few smidgen meters higher, but nothing that would caused, yeah, 5.84, 8 point, yeah, we're good. Now, we have one final step to do here, and that is the polish. We have ourselves a coaster. It has built functionally. We've made improvements to get our stats in a really good place, but there's one more thing we can do: smoothing. So let us edit our track here. So let's look at the numbers: 8.14, 5.82, and 2.33. Let's see if we can get those even better. Now, I'm not going to be making significant changes to the structure. What I am going to do is doing what's called smoothing. These banking turns, even though I addressed them a little bit more during my earlier parts here, they could still use a little bit smoothing to the degree that I can't really do. Thankfully, there's a tool in game for that. Let me show you how to use it. So what you want to do is, in a section where you think there needs to be some smoothing, click on the one track section itself. Now, see how this little track up here has been selected? Note these two little squares right here. This square right here is the bottom half of the selection. This square up here, right there, is the top half. But you can expand this selection by dragging one of the squares like that. See how more and more of the coaster is being selected here? Oops. And we get the angles right. I am outfoxing myself. There we go. So now we've selected pretty much all of the track in this pillar here. And this brings us to this tools here: Smooth All and Smooth Banking. Smooth All will change the fundamental structure of this whole section. It will actually try to flatten it out. We don't want that. We want this tower of power here. Smooth Banking will just change the banking to be a little bit smoother. That we do want. So, ba-doop, it has now adjusted the banking to everything here. Now, you can hit that multiple times, but the more you hit it, the more it will kind of warp your shape out of what you were trying to do, because it tries to achieve some sort of a mean average of everything. So I advise only hitting it once. Now, let's do the same thing over here. We reset that by clicking on our piece. We expand our section to include our little tower of power. Ba-doop, one smooth banking, and we are golden. And last but not least, we've got our third little tower here. Fourth if you count the lift hill. Smooth banking. Excellent. Now, let me just do one last heat map check. We still get a little bit of a boring spot right here. So let's try to find something a little bit more fun to do here. Yeah, that might work. And then just to keep the fear down a little bit, we will do a little bit of banking smoothing here. Just one little ba-doop like that. Just to make it a little smoother so we don't get too much intensity here. Okay, I think I'm good with our little polish pass here. Let's do one more ride here. And since you guys want it usually, let us ride it ourselves. Ah, so much smoother. So much smoother. Just a nice little twist, crest, down we go again. Nice and slowly, but it's exciting because the people don't know whether or not they're actually going to... I love the shadow there. And everything else seems pretty smooth here, so I don't think I need to do any more smoothing passes around there. And up and over, and here's our new and improved section here. Yep, up and down, but not too jarring. We'll see what the numbers say there. And into the station for a graceful end. Let's see the numbers. 8.22, that's up. 5.54, that is down. And a 2.30, I think that's right on par. So quite happy with what we've got here. So in our next episode, oh yeah, last but not least, save as blueprint. $8,371.54. We are under budget. beautifully under budget, and the rest of our budget will be used for scenery in the next episode. So if you like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya.